record.
And welcome back.
Go.
This is the Bunker Boys with Bruce Bliss, Darsky, and Murphy.
Sound like a doofus.
Help me. So what's up, guys? What's new?
Smash that like and subscribe button.
Smash that motherfucking like button.
We will find you.
Nothing much, man. Done with this semester officially. Unless I did the extra credit assignment, but I'm not going to get into that on the podcast.
We don't need to get into that.
Don't need to get into all that. That's
You know what?
That's
Spend
not
the
what
whole
this is about.
podcast talking about your grades.
Yeah, we
Okay.
should. We should just talk about my classes, what I do in them.
break down your whole the syllabi,
Yeah.
how your grades have worked out, what you did wrong, what you did right,
I don't know yet.
how you're gonna improve next semester.
How your parents hate you secretly.
Oh my. No secret of my dad.
It's-
What's new? What'd you guys learn lately?
I don't know. What's popping?
I haven't researched anything.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I haven't looked at anything. What's popping in the media right now?
Hawaii is a fucking.
I know North Korea.
The Korea War is gonna
Just-
probably maybe.
It already did. Is
Supposedly.
what I heard.
Well, not technically yet. They just said that they just announced that they're going to within the next few months. I think.
So after how many years? What?
60?
60 years. North Korea is finally gonna end the war with South Korea.
Here's
Well,
what
they're at war with each other.
It's good for South Korea to not be under that threat, but I might have mentioned this to Mike, but isn't it weird that we're like saying it's okay for a dictator to be a dictator by signing like peace with them?
Yeah.
You know? It's a little...
Are we? But I don't know.
Well, I mean, as soon as it ended their nuclear program, that's when shit kind of got weird. And I mean, that's when they're like, all right, we're gonna end the war. You know, South Korea.
South Korea is the good Korea, though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That's what they want you to think.
Right.
All Korea is best Korea. You gotta edit that out.
I don't think we got any Koreans.
I mean, it's not
listening.
that. I don't think we have any humans listening.
If you guys want, I can pause this. We can pull up news. I don't know. Or we can just do dead air. You can cut it out. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, you know.
My phone's dead.
My
so I
favorite
don't think-
podcasts are ones with like really extended awkward silences.
We're really
like,
beating around the bush. How was that beer tasting, Mike?
you know, a little skunky, but it's alright. It's not bad.
You know, they put it in a... I can't remember what it is, but they say like beer in a green bottle. It's in a green bottle because it takes longer for sunlight to make it...
No, it's the opposite. A green bottle
Oh,
will
really?
skunk faster.
Oh, really? Then why,
That's what I've always
why even bother then?
I don't know.
Now is that...
It just looks cool, man.
It just looks.
Now what is that?
Distinguishes it.
Stella Artois?
Yeah. Well, they're not paying us, so edit that out.
Uh,
Nobody,
Artois.
no free rides.
we
here.
may
No
or may
free
not
rides.
endorse Stella Artois to be pending. Advertisement pending.
All right.
Restricted.
Bruce, get some emails sent out to him.
All right, I'm on that right now. Oh, wait, my phone's dead.
So, I don't know. Like, let's talk about late stage capitalism and its failures.
You know, I can pause this right now. We
I
get
was
full
arguing
story.
with this guy the other day on this game I play, and about Bitcoin. And I was saying how basically it's like a decentralized currency, and he goes, "Yo, it's a fad. It's a fad.
That's what everyone
It won't
says.
work out." But is it?
It's been a fad for like, what, 10 years now? Or-
Is it worth it? You
Not
think?
even.
What do you
Sure.
think's gonna
Well,
happen?
look, I don't know. Like, if it really becomes the dominant thing, and you know, everyone in hindsight, you know, like the way they might have thought of, you know, Google or you know, social media, and they're like, well,
Mike
why was
gets
I
it.
so stupid to not realize that
Mike
that was
gets
going to be?
Well, it's simple inflation too.
But it's
with the
just, you
dollar.
know, but you know,
It
could
just needs
could
mass
just-
adoption, and I think it's slowly getting there.
Yeah.
But people are scared of it because of people saying like it's a fad. But once we realize that it's not a fad, it could be greater than what we allow it to be.
Zimbabwe actually, I think, filed for bankruptcy, and they have bills that are worth that literally say on the bill 100,000 of whatever their currency is. So inflation came to a point of such,
Cryptocurrency can fix that kind of problem.
and yeah. So now what they're doing is they're abandoning their currency and they're going to start using crypto.
Yeah, because their government doesn't regulate it.
Yeah.
They can't fucking mess it up.
There's no power struggle with it, right? So I invested into my first crypto the other day, put like $80 in. So I wanted to find a bank because I was hearing that some banks are charging fees, like handling transactions, crypto transactions. And so I went to Chase. I walked in, some ladies there. Hello.
I thought the whole point was to not have
Hello.
to deal with banks.
So
The transaction fees are a little different.
So yeah, because I bought it with my debit card. I was gonna open my own. So anyways, I wanted to open my own bank account that strictly just dealt with my investment, money. So I wanted to put some money in there just to deal with investments. And I go up to the lady. I said, "Do you charge crypto fees?" Or fees that have to do with cryptocurrency or whatever. And she goes, we don't deal with it at all. So, and that was it. That's like all she said. She went back to typing. I was like,
well, once again,
thank you.
Litecoin. What nice thing about Litecoin is it has lower transaction fees than Bitcoin, which is another reason why people seem to adopt it. So
okay,
it's cheaper. All I'm saying is like for like right now, for like $70, you can own half a Litecoin, and then say it does hit 20,000, now you own $10,000.
Right.
Not saying, by the way, never invest in cryptocurrency because you think it's going to inflate and you want to sell out. That's what hurts cryptocurrencies. Because there's two kinds of people. There's people that adopt the idea of like, oh shit, I'm gonna get rich if I invest in this, which is no problem with that. But a lot of other people are really hopeful because they want it to replace like
money.
Yeah. Well,
it's like short term versus long term
yeah.
investment.
Because like if it's mass adopted and it levels at like a regulated like value.
I guess we'll see, right? I mean, we'll see where it heads. I'm gonna keep some money in there just in case. I'm gonna buy like a coin of each one. You know what I mean? Eventually have $1,000 put into it, and you never know. It might fucking blow up next 10 years.
Just
Be a
remember,
millionaire.
I'll be left out. I'll be on the streets. You guys are gonna be like fucking millionaires overnight.
U.S. currency is constantly inflating, so.
I need like $50, Bruce. Please, my kids are starving.
Fuck off.
They
deserve it.
Should have invested in Bitcoin.
It's like bodyguards are trying to like fucking get the fuck out.
Get out of here.
You know this man?
Bruce will be like, hold on, I know this guy. He's cool. It's fine. Here's a 10.
Let him in.
Okay.
There's your Bitcoin ATMs now.
What can I get some Zimbabwe bucks?
You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
I'll buy for $50. Like I feed their whole nation.
I think what inflation is that, all right, so a roll of toilet paper eventually is going to cost $30. At that point, you're going to want to just wipe your ass with the ones.
Well, the thing about inflation, too, is like, it'll cost $30 for a roll of toilet paper, but you'll also get paid, like, in accordance, because that's the reason why...
Minimum wage will be $50 an hour.
That's why certain businesses, like, pay people, they pay them a cost of living fee, because money, its value grows exponentially, or inflates exponentially.
So basically, the minimum wage is basically go up in accordance to the inflation of the dollar.
It was supposed to, but it doesn't.
Doesn't
really happen.
So people, like, for example, work in a company making $25 an hour, and you got the janitor making minimum wage. His minimum wage goes up, but does the office guy Joe, does his wage go up in accordance as well?
Not usually. But he's supposed to be, if you're in that kind of position, you're supposed to be getting raises,
bonuses, vested stock options, stuff like that.
Right. But should everybody get a raise in accordance to the minimum wage raise? You know what I mean?
They might, but
I mean, there's some shitty jobs out there where you literally don't get a raise, but you're not supposed to.
I was talking to someone about this because we're talking about like what happens when money inflates to the point. Like, I think it's just gonna be like, well, the American dollar is now worth like $10,000, or it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's $10,000.
It says it's worth 10,000.
I flipped
when
it's
worth one.
Let's say like $10,000 is equal to what a dollar is now. Like, are they just gonna like dial it back eventually and be
just chop zeros off?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
let's just say, all right, just
divide
everything by 100, and
so
it all mathematically works out some way. There's less zeros.
That's why crypto is gonna save us.
I think that because what it is, don't quote me on this, but for example, say if the government needs to borrow, a couple billion, so what they do is they call up their buddy, the Federal Reserve, which is a privately owned bank, by the way. It's not even federally controlled. I don't know why they call it the Federal Reserve. And so what they do is say, all right, well, let's print out $2 billion more to give to the government out of thin air. So I think that's a huge part of inflation as well.
Well, it can be controlled though that way with fiat currency. You can just control inflation.
I say we all just
that's the whole point.
Clear each other's debts. Every country. You don't understand anything. It's fine.
And go rack up a bunch of debt first.
I mean, if you set that precedent, nobody's ever going to loan anything ever again.
Right.
There's never going to be loans anymore.
Well, I'm not for America, but whatever.
Just for us.
Give us a break.
We won't invade you.
Debt forgiveness.
Forgive our debts and we won't nuke your asses. Damn. It's kind of what's keeping us afloat, really. I don't think you get several $1 trillion in debt to other people in this.
What is it now? 15 trillion, I want to say. 15, close to 20 trillion in debt.
If you owed the mob. If you owed the mob several $1 trillion, I don't think you'd be at the bottom of the river.
I think the government is the mob.
Any more valuable alive?
Damn. These are the hot takes. You're only getting here on the Bunker Boys.
The Bunker Boys.
This is why we're in the bunker.
Yep.
Government's the real.
It's taxation theft.
Yeah.
No.
It's not. I'm not even gonna give it.
I was just watching Ben Shapiro destroying some college.
How is this a little too loud in some parts? There's a bit spikes, but we can fix that in post, right?
I can fix that. Simple compression.
It's all muffled. It's like screaming into the mic, all three of us. Yeah, you're right, Mike.
Yeah. Yep. Simple compression. A little bit of EQ.
Society's a pie. And we all gotta give a piece of our ingredients for it to taste good.
We get such a small slice.
Stone soup.
Yo, that's what blew my mind when I was a kid. I'm like, I want some stone soup.
What's that?
The story was
It's a band that Corey Taylor's in.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. That's Stone Sour.
What about the band that Corey Feldman's in?
Oh my god.
Did you see that shit?
Yeah. Him and his Angels. Have you ever seen the wife swap with him on it?
No.
Oh, it's bizarre. He did a wife swap with there's like a comedian or something, or some crazy shit.
I wonder how far that wife swap goes.
All the way.
Is there full intercourse, or is
it.
it just, they just stick it in for a little
All
bit?
day.
Just halfway.
Just halfway.
It's like swinging.
Yeah. But on TV.
You ever do that?
Tired of their wife.
I've been on swings before.
Really? Playground swings or?
What kind of swings
What
we
are you
talking,
talking
man? Huh?
I'm gonna start swinging.
My wife and I are swingers.
Congratulations, man.
Wait, really?
We like to go on swings.
You hear that,
We're
everybody? Subscribe.
We like to go on swings.
Subscribe for a chance to swing with these two lovebirds.
The only problem is we can't find playgrounds around here that have the swings on. They're all taken down everywhere. It sucks.
Because adults keep going on.
Yeah.
Playgrounds are dangerous, man.
Swing.
One time I fell on a playground, some serious stuff. I was fine, but could have been worse.
Could have been.
I had to go to the hospital and make sure I wasn't concussed.
Concussed.
What's the worst injury you've ever had?
I've never broken a bone. I got hit in the head with a golf club when I was a kid. I'm pointing to my forehead,
Explains
but
a lot.
By your father?
my mom said I had like a hole in my head though. It's messed up.
Damn.
I could see his brain.
I had a pretty bad gash like between my leg and where my balls are. I had like this big cut because I was on the back
It's
of
called your butthole.
No. It was like the inner thigh, but almost touching the taint, gooch, whatever you want to call that area.
What is that area between the ball and
The Gucci
thigh?
gang.
That's the taint. The taint, right?
Is it? I thought the taint was the gooch.
The gooch is the taint.
Why are we funding this?
But anyways, I was going downhill with my brother. I was on the pegs of a bike that didn't have brakes. And I'm like, you need to turn. We were going too fast and we hit a parked car. And it like cut me up pretty good.
Damn, son.
I
Yeah.
did that same thing once. I didn't get gashed open, but
I lost a testicle.
I was on the pegs of a kid's bike who didn't have brakes on it. I ended up sticking my foot in the because we were gonna run into like a tree at the dead end, so I just stuck my foot off in the front wheel or the back wheel. Or whatever.
You're gonna hit a tree? Like, what do you mean? Like,
It's at a dead end. It's like a cul-de-sac.
There was no
It's a
brakes?
dead end. No, he had no brakes.
Damn, dude.
did he not notify you of the lack of brakes
I don't
until
know.
the last
We
minute?
were like 11 years old. I don't
Going
think
like-
we considered it or cared.
I think it's amazing that you didn't die as a kid. I feel like that because I feel like there's so many times that it was close calls.
I almost got hit by a
But
bus.
kids they're versatile. They can handle it.
It's crazy.
Fearless, man.
Kids can
Fearless.
take it. I'll tell you that much.
Like I have children, and I'm just like constantly paranoid about every little thing that could potentially kill them. I'm like,
Okay.
fuck.
Yeah?
Like when I was little, I mean,
Is that why they
we
always
just,
wearing helmets?
we just went outside out into the woods and fucking threw bricks at each other. Like it's just,
First one to bleed.
we survived.
I don't know
Share
the
and like
anxiety.
this post if you
It's kinda-
didn't wear a seatbelt.
Oh, I hate
You're
those.
alive.
I used to eat lead paint as a kid and I'm fine.
My parents spanked me. I'm not violent.
Like if you've been hit as a kid, but you ain't a psychopath. Like, alright.
Yeah, I saw that one. Did you see that one?
I've seen,
It was a
I've
comment.
seen my mom, somebody I know,
Someone I know.
shares them. I'm just like, don't glorify the horrible parts of the past. Like, there's a reason why these things don't exist anymore. Seatbelts are around because kids were dying. Lead paint, lead products are still around. They're just not. Same for asbestos. Asbestos is still around all the
banned
time.
a while ago, wasn't it?
Huh?
It's banned.
It's
now,
still in
yeah.
old buildings,
But people,
Asbestos?
you have to get a license to work around asbestos.
Maybe
or removal of asbestos.
Maybe my brother. Well, he did. I don't know. He's like a higher thing, but because for insulation it might be illegal. But I think certain products still use because it can be safe
maybe
in certain forms.
Know where it all comes from, or at least used to. I don't know if it still does.
Where?
Canada. That's where I think some 90% of asbestos came from is Canada.
That explains it.
The sons of bitches.
Canada's a very insulated place.
Yeah.
It's cold. They need to be.
We need a news story. We need a hot topic.
We need a
Hot topic.
Do you think Trump should get credit for Korea?
I don't really get why he would. Did he organize?
He sat down with him, didn't he?
Well, I don't know. I mean, my understanding is that the North Korean president there, President Moon, I think his name is, he kind of publicly...
South Korea, you mean?
Yeah. What did I say?
North? Did he say North?
Yeah, I said North. I was confused.
Oh, I meant South then.
Yeah.
I'm not racist, but we'll
President
gloss past it.
But I guess his public statement was that Trump should get some amount of credit for it, but I think people are speculating that that's just a kind of publicity thing to keep the peace between the United States and the Koreas. Not to just saying that not to stir the pot up or anything.
All right.
4D game of chess is.
I mean, I don't really know what.
Yeah, look at
Dude, we should play. I have a board. I'll bring it over. You play? You guys play?
Play
chess? Chess?
It's been a little while, but
Yeah,
I
it's
used to
been
play
a while.
chess a lot.
It's been a while.
I'm not that great.
I'm
at
not
it, but-
really either.
My friend in elementary school, he was like the school chess champion, and he was like teaching me, but there was no hope for me.
What a
being
geek.
him.
What's it? Nerd.
Nerd.
Yeah. What a weirdo. It requires like
So-
some real.
Brilliant minds.
Yeah. Play checkers though.
I bet you.
Do that one move where you like go diagonal and you're like you can do that, and like, people get pissed. Like no, you can't.
No.
Or you like.
The whole board.
Yeah.
You can't do that, right?
It's like you set me up, bitch.
Biatch.
Play Monopoly. Yeah, we can do like Twitch streams of us
I'm a
playing
beast at
Monopoly.
Monopoly.
Are you?
If you can get through the first
Yeah.
48 hours of playing.
The problem is that people don't play by the official rules, right? That's the problem. Monopoly wouldn't take that long if people just played by the rules.
I like to play. How long do you think a game played by the rules would take?
Like an hour. Like
Really?
If you're against me, way less than
I think
that.
you're exaggerating.
Yeah. Okay.
No, it's true. Because what people do is all the rules that people tend to like invent, their house rules, just tend to like keep like players that are losing or performing worse in the game longer. Things like money on free parking. Like, you're not supposed to do that, but that's just constantly putting money back in.
Into
And
the
the
currency.
object of the game is to bankrupt everyone. Anything that's
Inflation.
giving more
Wait,
money.
money?
Hey,
Free parking.
inflation.
Yeah, you've never heard that before?
Is that a rule?
Like putting like tax money onto free parking, and whenever you land on free parking, you get that
It's
money.
basically like the lottery.
That's like things that
That's
the
not-
type of
that's
rules
not a
that
real
people
rule?
play.
That's a fake
No,
rule?
it's not.
No. I
Free
think
parking does nothing. You're not supposed to do
Monopoly
anything.
inflation,
It's
right?
like real life.
But that's what keeps the game going forever.
You gotta
Free parking.
Go for the strategy where you just buy everything immediately.
Yeah, that's basically the first part of the strategy.
You know what? I want to play Monopoly.
In
right
particular,
now.
in
I wanna
particular,
play.
you want one of every. Like, just start off by at least getting one of every single property,
Play categories.
and then never, ever, ever give anybody.
Asshole. You ever play that? Not play with. I said play. It's a card
My
game.
uncle used to play that asshole. Come here, Michael. We gonna play
It's a
asshole.
card game. You ever played asshole?
That sounds familiar.
It's a good one.
You ever play Guess Who?
There's like you've seen that video. It's like in PC culture, and it's like he's like, does he have a dark complexion? It's like the funniest thing ever. He's like, what do you mean? It's pretty good. Board games while drinking, I was like the best, and card games in general. I love drinking games, but I feel like everything's exacerbated.
Yeah.
I get competitive though. I'm not gonna lie. I go for a casual game of bowling. Next thing you know, I'm winning.
Bowling ball in the dome. Anyone who steps up.
Who wanna fuck with me? You competitive, Mike?
I am the white
You
call.
as competitive as me? That's how I got really mad at my girlfriend because we were playing darts at the bar, and she kept running up and putting her dart in the bullseye. And I was mad because I was winning. And I was like,
she was doing it to fuck with you.
Yeah, because she knows I'm competitive. Because she was losing, and then she ruined the game at the end. I'm like, don't do that. Let me win. There's a pointless game of darts.
Are you a proud winner or are you a cocky winner?
Are you a sore winner?
It depends on the audience, I guess. If I'm like, I would rub it in my girlfriend's face, but I would never rub it in like strangers' faces. I feel like it'd be a dick move.
Would you rub it in my? Would you rub it in my face, Murphy? Would you rub it right in my face?
Yeah.
Like all over.
Yeah, we'll play asshole. I'll rub it in your face.
Rub your asshole in my face.
Oh man.
Damn, Daniel. I've said that like 5 times since we started.
That's the first time I heard you say it.
Yeah, you're awesome.
I'm selective hearing.
That's
It's a good quality for a conversational podcast.
I'm having an anxiety attack on live air right now.
Do you see Nancy?
No,
You alright? Do you want to go?
No, I'm good. I'm just playing.
You sure?
Yeah.
No, we can pause.
You heard it here.
I can pull up a topic. I feel like we're running around.
Pause it for a second.
Pause it.
Get some air.
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead, Mike.
Did you see the Michelle Wolf? You know who I'm talking about at the White House Correspondents' Dinner?
No. I don't
No.
want to.
All right. Well, I guess we're not talking about that then. Never mind.
Well,
I didn't know.
Oh, does it?
I'm just too smart for politics. Sorry.
You're just too. Yeah. You just.
Too woke. But what happened? Is it something interesting or?
No, I mean, I don't know. There's just some controversy about the jokes she made.
Oh, okay. No, actually, I did hear about this because some lady was on the news being like, "My friends stuck by my side. They really helped me," and like she was just like kind of like crying about the fact that jokes were made about her busted face.
Busted ass.
I don't know. That was like her weight or something. It's like a roast or something.
Kind of.
That Trump hasn't gone to.
Yeah.
I guess it's like 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Brave.
He's a hero.
He really is, dude.
The hero of the modern age.
He's hella thick. Let me check these not the onion. These are good though. Let's see. World of Warcraft currency is now worth 7 times as much as Venezuela's cash.
No way.
Yeah.
In what sense? Like in real cash terms? Like how
Well,
much?
because in-game currencies have like physical value too, because you could buy and trade in real life.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there's like mines in China, man.
Cryptocurrency.
Well, it's not the same thing. But and, there's a really cool story. I'm gonna probably butcher it, but World of Warcraft had like this bug, and it was basically like a disease, a virus that ran through the game, and it was like randomly killing characters.
Oh, I seen that. I was just reading that the other day.
That's funny because scientists were actually studying it to see how because it was like in-game people were actually like giving resources to help players and stuff like that. It was crazy to like.
It was a virus that.
I know what you're talking about. This
did
was some years ago.
It was a virus that was like in the wilderness that players would contract, but somehow they figured out a way to like put it into cities. Like someone hacked it and created like a bug, and then they made it so like it could go to other players and it ended up killing like everybody. Yeah, thought that was pretty interesting. The sword of 1,000 truths.
He who has no life. Whatever it is. That which
How
has
do you
no
kill which has no life? Let's see. Pyroxidine.
These are like real news stories. I don't want that. We'll go to Facebook news. I'm sure that'll be real.
Facebook news?
The trending on the right.
I don't need Facebook news. I got meme pages that give me everything I need to know.
That girl got fucked up.
Yeah, she's like a pollen.
Do you guys think back in the day, in like the medieval ages, when someone, like a fucking king, was allergic to bee stings, and they just got stung by a fucking bee?
They probably just like
took it out by
sacrificed virgins or something to
Several.
cure it.
Just slaughtered 6 baby goats.
Oh, it's easy. Just slather some virgin blood on it and it'll be good.
Pizza Hut has a beer delivery in California too.
Beer delivery.
That's pretty interesting.
Shit.
Pizza Hut? They sell
Give me a warm beer with that pizza, please. Fucking stupid. They sell beer at they used to. I'm not gonna say. I was gonna say the Fajita Grill, but it's kind of like a pointless on a podcast to bring up a local food place.
Is it local?
Yeah, there's only one
here.
It's like region.
One in Oswego, one in Fulton.
That's it.
Yeah.
No shit.
Ooh. Well, now all of our listeners know exactly where we live.
In a bunker.
In a bunker somewhere.
I went to Applebee's yesterday, or the other day. It was really good.
Yeah, they're also now sponsoring us. So.
Yeah.
Was it delicious?
Just bleep it out.
I'll
bleep
beep.
it out.
I went to beep. The
Wait,
other
Applebee's may or may not be delicious, pending sponsorship.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, you guys want to hear some sports news?
Sports?
Because I don't. Shit,
This week in sports.
there's like nothing. They're making the new Bill and Ted movie. I haven't seen the original.
Bill and Ted.
Yeah, is that what it's called?
As opposed, what else would it be?
Ted. Just Ted. No.
That's a different movie.
That's
though.
a movie, but that's a different
That's
movie.
the Ted. Yeah, that's the
I didn't
Ted
know
movie.
Bill and Ted existed.
Bill and Ted is
Keanu
like-
Reeves? I've never seen it, but I mean, it's pop. You know, it's referenced enough in pop culture that.
Terry Gilliam, I don't know how you pronounce it, suffers a stroke right before his Don Quixo's cancer. I think the full title is like the death of Don Quixote or something like that.
How old is he?
Quixote?
Quixote? Oh, you're right. I always pronounce it wrong. Maggie gives me shit for it. I'm sorry. I'm not whatever that book
Literate?
is.
Oh, I think.
Damn, guys.
Damn.
Really,
Damn.
Damn, Daniel.
I think we're covering a lot this
We
this
are. We're
today.
maybe too much. We're
That's
dropping
what I'm
too
saying. I'm
many
trying to get a
truths.
topic that you can really build from. I feel like we've definitely been floating around. What's new in your life, Mike?
Look,
How are your finals?
we talk about life stuff.
What do you guys think the cure to cancer really is?
There
I
is.
think there can be one.
You heard of the vitamin B17?
You're about to tell me though.
It's a banned vitamin. It's like illegal because in high amounts it can cause like toxicity, like cholesterol. But other countries it's legal. But it's known to cure cancer and tumors. Yeah. A lot of people online are talking about experiences. They got off the chemo. Took, I think it's called B17. You might want to look that up. But a lot of people took it, and then I guess they ended up surviving. I thought that was interesting.
I don't know that you can cure cancer though. Really, you can delay it. You can
People are talking about this vitamin, man.
treat it.
Let's look it up.
Well, the thing is, like,
It's just like a.
once you like cure cancer, you're like curing aging too, and a bunch of other like.
Well, sure. Like, yeah, it's like a direct byproduct of aging. I mean, unless, yeah, you'd have to cure aging somehow to cure cancer.
You know, if you drink a gallon of bleach, that'll cure cancer too, but
Technically, yes.
nobody
that's
wants
true.
to fight that.
Don't try it at home.
Like,
Look it up.
things that are
I
technically
couldn't find that.
things that are technically true but not really useful. Cats are made out of nothing but cat food and water.
There's one that like it's like you can hold your breath underwater for the rest of your life if you wanted to.
Do you think cat food is actually...
Oh
my God!
Did you see that?
That was sick, Bruce. For the listener, Bruce did some sick moves with his phone.
Completely on accident. I thought I was going to hit the floor. Do you guys think cat food is actually nutritious for cats?
Nah, it's basically cereal for cats, pretty much. But there's not much you can do about
What do
it.
you think it's made from?
What should cats be?
Cornmeal,
Cornmeal? Really?
but I don't know. Corn.
You read on the bag, it's called crude protein. Crude carbs, crude protein. What the hell is crude? What's this crude
Like
they speak of?
unrefined.
Leftover shit?
Grinded garbage.
Like
Whatever hot dogs are made of.
they're made out of cats.
You know, I actually just realized the other day, I was watching this video about gelatin. You know gelatin, right?
Yeah.
It's made from grinded up byproduct of animals.
Yeah, that's why.
I didn't know that.
That's why if you're vegan or vegetarian, you can't have it.
No
It's
shit.
one of the.
It's got bone marrow.
It's one of those many things that's just like exists, but you never really think about what it's even made out of, and it's a total mystery if you have no idea.
It's made out of gelatin, Mike.
Like,
That's why most candy is not vegan friendly because it has gelatin in it. So it's like any candy
Like what
that's
the
not rock hard, like Jolly Ranchers, like anything gummy or chewy, has gelatin in it.
it's like the kind of shit you have to look up. Like, what the fuck is caramel?
What is caramel?
Sugar.
Caramel
Basically.
or caramel?
Caramel.
Well, is it?
No, it's caramel.
Isn't caramel like made from like cooking sugar?
Molasses.
Basically. But what's molasses though? What's brown
It's
sugar?
made from tree sap, I want to say.
What's brown sugar?
Something like that. Brown
sugar that's undyed, right?
No.
No.
It's just sugar with molasses in it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
I like brown sugar. You ever put brown sugar in your pancakes?
Brown sugar and everything.
What is sugar? What's an atom? Let's keep going smaller.
Yeah.
What's an electron?
It's a quark. So string theory. Huh?
That's a big
You
jump.
guys thought.
That's a big fucking jump, man.
Speaking of cats.
How about that string theory?
Okay, took me a while.
Schrodinger's cat.
I feel like
we talked about this on the last one, didn't we?
Yeah, I don't want to get too into it because people got enough of
We
our
need to
pseudoscience.
figure out if gravitational waves exist. I think Einstein's theory wouldn't be correct if gravitational waves didn't exist.
Is that true? Are you sure?
Don't quote me.
Well, how do you define
Well, they
a wave?
actually-
They know they exist, they just haven't been able to detect them yet.
I'm pretty sure they actually discovered the particle, right? The graviton.
The graviton.
Yeah.
Sounds
The
made
gravity particle.
So I need Mike on the Google here
Oh,
to
okay.
correct us. Come on, Jamie.
Jamie, pull that up. Graviton? Is that what you're calling it?
Graviton.
Graviton? There's also graviton.
Probably on Star Trek.
In theories of quantum gravity, the graviton is the hypothetical elementary particle that mediates the force of gravity.
Hypothetical.
There are no complete quantum field theory of gravitons due to the outstanding mathematical problem with renormalization and general relativity, which obviously we all understand. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cut and paste.
You guys watch those videos online of people trying to what's that one that's called perpetual motion?
Mm-hmm.
Like perpetual motion machines. Like people will be online trying to create them. And it
Like,
doesn't exist,
yeah,
right?
no,
It's
Can't
impossible.
exist.
entropy
It's
or whatever.
impossible. Yeah.
Like someone took magnets
Well,
using fidget
the laws of
spinners.
thermodynamics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're always going to lose something.
Yeah.
There's going to be there's no such thing as what do they call it? The Carnot efficient engine or something?
Infinite energy, right? Is that what it is? It's basically like you can't create energy from nothing. It can only be
It can't be.
transferred.
It can neither be created nor destroyed.
Right.
Just like me.
What does it say about the soul or when you die? What happens to your energy? There's obviously energy enough in your
Goes
the
in
brain to power a light bulb? Is that what they said?
I mean, there's
What's that to do with
there's
souls?
actually a fuckload of electricity.
That's your
in the
energy,
body.
right? I mean, I'm not saying souls like that. Your
I don't think
consciousness.
conventionally people would think of a soul.
There's a lot of electricity in your body, but there's no ampage. Ampage is what causes people to get like shocked and die and shit.
I can't shock you with my high IQ from watching Rick and Morty.
No, that's the thing about like death is, you don't technically lose anything. People get upset because it's like, well, why have I accumulated all these skills and experiences just for it to go away? But
Because your energy is recycled into the earth as fertilizer.
pretty much.
Well, okay, let me talk about this then. Here we go. How we talk about this?
I don't know.
Ready for this? Are you ready for this?
I'm ready, dude.
All right. You know how often do you dream? Do you think? Like how many nights or
Well, they say every
mornings?
night. Do you mean dreams I remember, or because they say you dream every night? So
Yeah, they do say that, don't they?
For hours, which is REM
How
sleep.
many times a night do you dream? How many dreams do you experience a night?
Uh,
On average.
well, isn't it part of like
You're
the
sleeping,
the REM
yeah.
cycle? You go through like a dream phase or whatever.
It's 3 REM cycles, I want to say, right? 3 or 4.
Yeah, 3 or
I would
4.
assume one continuous dream, right?
Well, I think you dream only during REM sleep, and you always dream during REM sleep, and you go through 3 or 4 cycles a night.
Yeah.
So that's how many times you dream a night is 3 or 4 times every night.
You dream 1/3 of your life.
But the problem is like when you wake up, does it mean anything that you experience all these dreams when they just instantly vanish from your memory or consciousness?
So what you're saying is, how do we know there's something before life that we don't remember?
Well, no. What I'm saying is, what if life is just like a
dream.
forgotten dream? Like
And when you
know,
die,
you
you
just
wake
die
up.
and it's gone.
Then you forget it.
No, you don't wake up. That's
Well,
the
they
problem.
say you don't truly remember anything. You just remember the last time you remembered it.
Mark Twain said it right. He's
Did
like, I'm not
Mark.
afraid of death. I've been dead for billions of years.
And I take problem with that quote. Not that one, but the you dreamed the last time, or you remembered something. You remember the last time you remembered it. But what about the first time you remembered it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Got him.
That's what I'm saying. Debate that, snowflakes. That kind of bugged me. I'm like, also, what about the first time you remember something? Because you're remembering the actual event. There has to be at least one time when you remember something, you're remembering the actual event and not the last time you remembered
It's
it.
all just an illusion, man.
Time keeps
Never actually happened.
What about An old friend of mine was
We were born 5 seconds ago.
talking about Nietzsche on Facebook the other day.
Is that Friedrich you're talking about?
Of the Friedrich variety.
Yeah, I know.
And so just the other night I was like thinking about his like I'm just gonna throw words out here. His epistemological views, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's called I'll explain it. It's not like just. And I know this is the philosophy's always got these like obnoxious sounding words, but they're not that complicated.
Well,
like,
you don't make it sound better than it is, right?
I know, right? But anyways, okay. So most people ascribe a view called I believe it's called perspectivism to them. Like this idea that there's no such thing as like an objective reality, like what they'd call a thing in of itself, or a thing in itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I do.
What do you guys? So I don't know. Like I was just gonna bring that up because I was thinking about this the other day.
I think there is objective.
Is there an
reality?
objective reality?
It's just observing it. We're spectators, so it's subjective to each person.
What's the difference between a subjective reality and an objective reality?
I mean, that's kind of like the thing you were talking about or one of the other times. Is like, what is truth? And I think I said it was like, what can be measured, but it doesn't have to. I mean, I'm just making an assumption though about objective reality. I'm going to assume that everything's here when I'm gone. I'm making the assumption that you guys aren't extensions of my reality.
What is it called? Circular reasoning, right?
No.
Oh.
No,
basically,
really, we're talking about like metaphysics.
Like most people, I'm a firm believer that you guys exist in your own universes. You're not part of mine. You know what I mean? As difficult as it is for some people, but I assume that when you leave in your car, you actually go home and see your family. And even though we don't know what your place looks like, your family looks like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it exists outside of me.
How do you know?
And that, I guess, there's no way to prove it.
So then, why do you think that? Why do you believe it?
Because what else? There's no alternative, right?
Well, the alternative is that it's all in your mind.
It is all in my mind.
Isn't that? So, no, I mean like it's only or exclusively in your mind, not just like
exclusively in my mind. I don't know. Then I have a pretty shitty mind. Then needs to come up with a better existence.
Wow, I take that personally.
No, you're fine. Yeah, I don't think.
Geez, these characters suck.
We're actually only an illusion in your mind, Murphy. Damn. We don't exist, actually. You're in the Matrix. We're just illusions.
I can verify that.
It's like that joke. It's like
you're the only one.
Don't blame yourself for the accident. Wake up.
Yeah.
The joke is like you'd wake up in a hospital bed and everything's been a lie.
Oh my god.
The rabbit hole.
Let's see how deep the rabbit hole goes, Neo. Want to play asshole? But no, I would have. Once again, it goes back to does a tree make sound when it falls in the forest? Yes. Just because I don't observe it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. There's an objective truth.
We have to define what existence is.
What do you think, Bruce?
I mean, what is existence to you? I mean, to me, I think what exists is a byproduct of what I perceive. This phone, I can observe it with my senses. I can touch it, feel it, smell it if I want.
You could.
So to me, that exists right now. That's real to me.
Because you can perceive it.
Right.
So things you can't perceive don't exist. Like right
That's
now,
the hard part.
So my kids, you can't perceive them in any way right now, so they don't exist.
Well, they exist.
Just take one example.
I mean, I know they exist because I've seen them. I've experienced them with my senses in past experiences. But are we saying?
So how do you?
Only exists so how do you in the present moment?
Yeah. So how do you account for persistence then? Like how does?
What's the name of that?
That's tough.
I mean, they must exist somehow independently if they persist even when you're not experiencing them. Right?
I guess, yeah.
So that's
or there's like
objective truth then.
Yeah.
What's it called when your brain's able to like? Because little kids can't do it for the first couple of years, where they can't like if you take something out of their view, to them it doesn't exist.
Like
there's a name for it.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Object persistence or something like that.
I mean, I'll Google it. You
something
guys,
like that.
You guys keep going.
But well, shit. I was hoping one of you guys would say that it only exists in your mind and stuff. I don't know. I mean, to me, it's You said like, what is existence? I mean, I think like that's a weird
object permanence.
Object permanence, right? Okay.
I guess, yeah.
But,
I mean, I guess what is only what you define it, right? That's everything.
I mean,
life, right?
well,
Everything in
well,
life.
well,
is
It's
that.
like such a
agree
weird
on.
question to ask. Like, what is existence? Like,
I think it's just kind of based
because
on
things that
language.
you can't
Yeah.
you can't like really treat it like a property because things can't not have existence and also be a thing you can talk about or describe. Like it's just
There's always something.
it's that one.
Is there such thing as nothing?
Like something can exist but not
Emptiness?
be read.
Yeah.
But even in emptiness, there's dark matter.
Well, it's
Back
not
in
empty.
space.
It's
Well,
not
that's like
nothingness then, is
I
it?
like to view it like nothing in itself is something, which is like a paradox, which
No, it's
could,
more of a contradiction.
which can explain a lot of things. Like the whole reason we can't divide by zero is I can't remember the exact rule. It's like the reason why we can't divide by zero because zero can go into something in an infinite amount of ways and sizes and like stuff. It's an undefined answer because there's multiple fucking answers. And it's weird. I mean, I'm not like a math major. You can Google it yourself, fucking loser. But it's interesting to think about because it's like I like to think of existence in that aspect as like if we're governed by these laws of mathematics, then everything is in two states at once, kind of thing. And it's like it's just the bizarreness of it all.
Very bizarre.
We're all on the line of chaos. Yin and yang, or is it yin and yang?
Yin and yang. Yin and yang.
Yin and yang. Yin yang twins.
Yin yang.
Yin yang.
Famous physicist, the Yin Yang twins, talked about it. That's why, that's Eastern philosophy, in those religions, really fucking got it. Especially Taoism stuff like that.
I don't know.
Living on the line of balance.
Sometimes.
I think they really did. I think that they cracked that shit so perfectly about living on the balance between chaos and order is the only way you can really survive in life without being constantly on the edge of panic or fear or
The only
anger.
religion that ever made sense to me was Buddhism.
Yeah.
Life is suffering, desires is suffering. I guess to truly exist is the real journey, right? Just to
Go with the
exist.
flow, bro.
But us being Americans, I don't think we could all shave our heads and wear monk robes and move to Tibet.
We're too polluted by our
Fucking
upbringing.
meditate for hours a day. It's like we're too polluted by, what is our culture.
Well, that's
why we suffer.
I don't completely subscribe to that because it's nice to be if we had no material things and we sat around meditating, we'd be much happier. But I think
Well, I don't think the goal of Buddhism is to be
Well,
happy. It's to be almost
yeah,
completely
it's-
remove emotions entirely.
ascend. But I think life is suffering, but it wouldn't be good if it wasn't suffering either.
Right.
You have no scale of happiness if you don't know.
So I don't
I'll
get
take
all
misery
happy.
because I know what it will feel like to be happy, at least sometimes, and then I'll do that cycle over and over until I die.
I feel like I was just watching something or reading something where somebody was trying to.
I get it. You can read.
God, I get it. Who was it? Shit. I don't know. Somebody. Let's just say it was Ben Shapiro. No, I don't know who it was. They're criticizing what you just said, actually. That old adage about you need to suffer in order to understand happiness. They said that that's not true. They didn't think that was true.
Why did they not think it was true though?
They just think that they're just independent things, that you can experience happiness independently of suffering.
But what you need a
That's
scale
bullshit.
though. Say you're born into, I won't say a life of luxury because people that are wealthy and have everything are still miserable because that's the brain for you. It's okay, you have everything, but it'd be cool.
Even
more. Yeah, more stuff would be cool, right? And then it's then you have everything, and you look at people with nothing, you're like, I don't know, he seems like he's having a good time. I want nothing. It's
So,
can't win.
I mean, a lot of these billionaire rock stars, even ones that were born into this, life of money, some of them still end up unhappy, and some of them commit suicide. You know what I mean? So
Well, a lot of that's probably actual clinical depression.
yeah, that's probably more
Which isn't-
on the line of
more
mental
of a-
illness,
yeah,
But I'm sure that they do experience unhappiness.
Human brain.
Sure, absolutely.
Fickle bitch.
No matter how much people are born with, I guess.
That's that Schopenhauerian tragedy, right?
No matter
No matter how much you get,
It doesn't bring true happiness.
You're just gonna want more, or just sit there and wallow in.
Right.
You're not gonna have anything to do. I mean, you achieve everything you want, and then what?
Yeah.
I think it's.
And you either need more, or you're just gonna.
How do you think Bill Gates
die.
wants? You know what I mean? Like someone like
yeah.
that.
Once you have everything, what?
Cure malaria.
What do you do?
I guess. Yeah. I guess it depends on your goal.
Do well, I guess. I mean, he has all his wealth. Why not use it? Were you talking about he paid off our country's debt? Oh, maybe it was Maggie. I don't know. Somebody told me that like there was like a country in Africa that had like a $75 million like malaria debt, and he just paid it off.
Oh.
75 mil.
I mean, he's probably done some sketchy business.
Man, I wish he stopped spying on us through Windows 10.
That's like a normal person just donating $1 to somebody.
I know, right? It's like to donate $1.
It's actually amazing he doesn't just do more of that shit, just constantly.
Pay off America's debt. No.
Well, he does
too much.
Yeah.
Like
even what is it? What is he worth? Like 60 billion?
Oh yeah, something up there.
Somewhere around there. But compared to like what? How many trillions now?
19.
10 trillion?
I think I want to say 20.
Forget,
You should Google the debt clock.
Still though, it's $60 billion. You can do a whole lot of fucking good and still have enough water.
Like people, well, I mean, people get a little overly stressed out about the debt. It's not really
the debt
that
is
big a deal.
It's like an arduous like number we throw on our countries to be like.
It's not that big a deal that we're in debt.
Yeah, we're doing fine. We're still a superpower.
Yeah.
Despite what people think about like Russia and stuff. Russia's scared of America. Don't forget that. Don't ever fucking forget that. Boys.
Damn, we're fighting.
Listen here, Ruskies.
Hear that, Putin?
This is the thing, people are always like, they're an economic powerhouse. It's like more, China's more of an economic powerhouse than like fucking Russia.
China would fail without us, without our economy.
We probably fail without China.
That's why they can't really say shit about the debt. But I don't really know. I'm not an expert.
Well, it's true the other way around too. I mean, half of our debt is to China.
We rely on very cheap labor. Like
surprisingly, like half of it's. I think Japan owns like half of our debt too, right?
I think they
like the vast majority of it is like half China, half Japan.
I think China gets paid though, regardless. I think we borrow money from the Fed, right? For companies borrow money from the Fed and get from the banks, and I think the country itself is in debt to what the Federal Reserve probably. I'm guessing, right? No.
Well, I think they're paid in what bonds, government bonds, the federal
backed, right? Saying this is worth something. Yeah.
Just gives them the ability to have more money to loan out to people.
Right. I gotta do more research on it. I'm not an expert in economics. I'm not sure.
Neither am I.
It's such a complicated thing to look at like macroeconomics in general and just
Shit, they can't. Even our own president and government can't figure this shit out. Apparently.
There's money to be made doing this stuff though. People take advantage of the fact that the general person doesn't know shit about money at all and how it works,
stocks,
or interest, or
day trading, all this shit. Check out day trading. Shit,
bro. I don't know.
Yeah, bro.
Why don't you just take my money? I want a house. I want a Range Rover, bro. You know what I'd do if I had $1 million?
If I had $1 million.
Alright, whatever. You guys ruined it.
What would you do if you had $1 million, Murphy?
What would you do tomorrow?
2 chicks at the same time. That's our Office Space, remember?
Yeah, no, it's not. What would you do though? You woke up tomorrow, you had $1 million.
$1 million? $1 million is nothing. Invest it.
First thing, you would not sit down and go on the stock market. First thing.
Hedge fund. I would invest in probably bigger business.
If you woke up tomorrow, you had $1 million.
Invest $1 million.
First thing though, you wouldn't even go down the road, buy a new car, or fucking.
I'd probably pay off my student debts and stuff.
Would you keep going to school?
I don't ever plan on like buying
a car.
I'm gonna keep buying junkers the rest of my life.
Fuck yeah.
Huh?
Would you drop out?
Probably. Because I probably have enough money to invest. That
small loan of $1 million.
Have your own. You'd be able to start up your own.
That's what I'm saying. If you invest in a hedge fund, the money just can slowly gather, and as long as I'm low needs, like it costs $20,000 a year for me to survive. Right?
Yeah. Not
even, probably less. I'm fine. And like, if I do want to buy a house, like I can always go in.
What would you do?
We got the bunker.
What would you do?
Money's not going to be worth anything in a few years anyway. When World War III breaks out,
when Bitcoin takes over.
Well, we really. So you know what? Buy water filters. buy ammunition.
Alex Jones water.
Am I the only normal person here to go out and buy like a fucking new house, a new car?
And that's why you have no money. This is the reason why people that like win the lottery, they end up broke again pretty quickly.
Same thing with like professional athletes.
Yeah. It's kind of fucked up because they take like these like undereducated poor black kids who could play ball, and they're like, we're gonna give you a fuckload of money and not how to tell you how to handle it at all. Yeah. And then they end up like, look at Michael Jordan. He gambled all his debt away. It wasn't until like he made Space Jam.
Hanes underwear.
I don't know if it's still a conspiracy theory now, but I believe it was like people were like speculating. The reason why he played baseball for like however long he did is because he was suspended for losing his money to gambling.
Wow.
Well, with him, I think that was just more. He developed an addiction.
Yeah, well, it is an addiction.
Who would need to gamble with that level of wealth? You know what I mean?
People do.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's high rollers for you, man. There's always more money, you know? Like, what's...
Yeah.
Sure, you have 100 million, but do you have $1 billion?
Right.
You could gamble, maybe you do.
It's the risk that they're addicted to, right? It's the adrenaline.
Yeah.
I don't fuck with gambling anymore, man.
I heard there's people who go to casinos and get, like, mad if they win, I think, or something, because then it's like... Or if they win too big or something. Or no, wait, what am I... Or they get mad over something. What the fuck?
It's probably,
this is the high
probably losing.
This is the high quality content.
You probably get mad when they lose.
They don't like paying the parking fees.
No. They like I don't know. They're just like no. You know what it is? They play slots and they get mad when they win too much at slots because it consumes time. Like all the coins spitting out and doing all the bullshit, and they're just addicted to literally just putting coins in, and they're just like. You know, they just wanted to hurry the fuck up so they can get the next coin in.
That's just mental illness, man. I mean, we sit there and be like, it's an addiction, but I mean, everybody has their own kind of like, everything is gamified. There's a reason why web apps are pulling in money from like little kids that are like, I need more Minecraft tokens, mom. But,
yeah.
Bruce, some leave it. But,
Bruce Almighty, come on.
That's what I'm saying. If you know, there's money to be made by gamifying anything. It's like a huge
gamify.
Why don't we do that?
A huge principle of economics.
Let's gamify this podcast. People do that on like
within this podcast. There's a background noise.
if you can identify the
what that noise is, email us at bigbootyhose and we'll give you $10.
.org.
Yeah, .org. At Bunker Boys though.
I heard the other day that amateur Pornhub stars, couples are going Pornhub and make $3,500 a week.
Did you see that picture? I saw a photo.
Was it a meme? I think it was.
I don't know. I mean, there's money to be made in like being a cam girl, and so I know that like those girls pulling.
Oh yeah,
shitload.
Yeah, women.
Yeah, but people, I think, because an amateur has a market, because you know it's more realistic. I think like nobody wants.
I like a backstory to it, you know.
Yeah, well, I think
I like a lead up.
I think some people appreciate like couples, like the sincerity. Like they don't want like two people that are paid to be in a room and like kiss.
Some
it's
like
awkward.
Some nasty fake-breasted hoe.
Oh yeah!
Oh my god!
I'm on the bus.
I find it insane that people actually pay webcam girls like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. It's just
that's weird.
Just
that's
just
there's so much porn.
That's a life and experience you just won't understand. I don't know. Maybe it's just
I think it's an intimacy thing.
It's partly that. Maybe for some people
having
there's
control.
A certain like addiction.
Look, I don't know nothing about
having
it.
a say is probably what it is. Having a say.
Yeah, there's something like if there's like it feels if even just partially real to them that they're.
Right.
There's a responsiveness to their input.
Especially when you're lonely for fucking, someone's lonely for 20-something years. You know what I mean?
Lonely people.
If you're gonna drop $100, you might as well get a prostitute, though.
Right.
Look at all the lonely people. Just look at Japan, man.
Just look at
Get their waifu pillows and they're just totally uninterested in women.
Some
Is it true
people.
that guy at Walmart has a mail-ordered bride? Is that true?
Who? Well,
let's not drop names.
I don't want to drop his name, but
like
I'm telling you.
Off the clock.
Off the clock.
Do you want me to pause this for 5 seconds?
Yes.
Don't say names. All right, so Japanese. I mean,
those are the Japanese. That's
I don't
well,
know.
there's such an overpopulation over there. It's they're trying to
Wait, no, their problem is that they're
or not Japan.
Well, no one's getting married. That's a big issue. It's
their whole birth rates are just like plateauing.
Yeah,
in Japan.
the fucking culture. I hate people that like worship Japanese culture. Like, it's such a good culture. It's like you watch anime once and you think Japan's great. It's like it's not. People think that working till you're fucking dead is like better than anything else. That's why no one wants to get married, and the women are like great. No, I think it's just like it's kind of a vapid culture too, and more kind of backwards and
very weird culture too. Like you watch some of these.
I'm sure it's normal.
I don't know, you guys. I don't watch much.
No, Japan's cool, and I love like sushi.
No, it's just so different from us. You know what I mean? You have to understand. I think they were like isolated for thousands of years, right? Before they finally said, "All right, we're gonna start trading with the outside world."
Well, I mean, that's not necessarily where their weirdness comes from.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's not. They're only weird because they're not us.
But I agree. Their background of like Shintoism and shit, like just like a completely cultural difference.
Saying we're probably weird as shit to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just
like
there's such a different
8-hour workday here. They're like lazy.
Yeah.
Lazy
I do that for free.
I do that for free.
The first 8 hours of my shift are free.
Japan's got
I have to show how good of a
cool
worker
culture in general. I just think there's some societal issues and it is a population control thing. Like property is so expensive and stuff like that.
It's got one book that they used to read to us in middle school, where like eventually America became like overpopulated, and then any third child that they had to get executed.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
It's not like The Giver, is it?
I don't know.
I know The Giver. What The Giver kind of is like, where they're like executing children that
The
look
lottery?
different.
Like you couldn't have more than 2 children, and if you had a third and they knew about it, they just executed.
It sounds familiar.
Really
You know
good
The
book.
Giver had 2 sequels?
Really?
Yeah.
I don't even know what The Giver is.
Really? It's like this society
I've never
where
read
like everything is. It's basically like, I don't know what kind of you would call it. It's not like a fascist, but everything's controlled like
Dystopian?
complete. Yeah. Well, it's like utopia because everything is perfect. Everybody has enough. 2 kids. You get like assigned your wife and husband, and then. But the thing is like you find out later on, like if babies are born, like a different kind of eye color or something like that, they'll like put it down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Eugenics is like practice. Basically, the giver is like this old man, and his job is to remember everything. I think there's like some weird shit with color, but I can't remember it. But like, his job is to remember everything from the past, like all the pleasures of everything beforehand, of like greed and war and stuff they don't know
Why
about.
don't they just write it down?
Well, because I don't know, they keep it with one person. It's like his burden to have this. But in a kid, they find a kid and he's like, "You're gonna be the new giver." The book ends with like him taking his little brother, who's like set to be executed. Maybe I don't know. And then he like runs away, and I think the book ends with him finding another town or something.
Shit.
But it's
Sounds
like a good book.
Spoiler alert.
No, it's a good book to read. It's about like, I guess like the whole thing of like, ignorance is not quite bliss, and with a bunch of other messages, obviously. But
Okay.
you know how it be
Good stuff.
when you sucking.
Let's talk about religion and whether or not God's
Fucking
real.
tip my fedora.
I came up with my own religion, and it's that we're our own God to a certain extent.
Like Nation Islam or something.
I was gonna say
5%.
We're our own God. With
Levian
our
Satanism.
own, it's basically like you have power of your own life, but to a certain extent.
Yeah, bro. Levian Satanism. Look it up.
Satanism?
Yeah.
Hell, Satan, baby.
So it's called the humanist religion, not like the theistic Satanism where like we worship the devil, or the one that everyone was scared of in the 80s. Levian Satanism is it's actually an atheistic belief, but it's like you guys heard the band Death Grips? There's a rap lyric called "I am the beast I worship," and it's like that's kind of what the idea is. Like you're the master of your own universe. Like worship yourself, fucking earn as much money as possible, love who you want, or fuck around, do what you want. And like don't hurt anybody in the process, but like don't be afraid to be ruthless to a degree. I mean, I'm probably throwing in whatever, but it's interesting.
Close my eyes and seize it.
I think
Beat it.
to getting into like success, I think a lot of people are like, "Oh, you have the power to do anything." I don't think you do. I think you're limited by how you were born, who you were born to, the family you were born into, and the kind of the opportunities that were presented to you, I guess. And the other part of it is luck.
Yeah,
So,
hard. I think discipline is a huge factor,
huge.
and just working hard.
And then just luck, pretty much. That's pretty much the rest of it. Right time, right place.
What's that quote? I can't remember who it is. It's like, Oh, it's like an old inventor. It's a really good quote. He's like, I've noticed that the harder I worked, the luckier I became. And it's a really good quote because it's kind of true.
Well, you better be prepared. If you do get a lucky strike, you know what I mean. You know, you gotta be prepared. It's like
you only get one shot. Do not let your chance to.
But I mean, circumstance is a huge factor. But even that, like, there's a reason why, like, an amputee that can snowboard is inspirational. Because it's like, there's not many excuses in life. Like, plenty of people are born poor. I mean, I was born into like a poor family, but my goal in life is, I don't want to be super wealthy, but I want to go into tech and make a moderate amount of money.
Yeah.
I'm tired of living paycheck to paycheck. That's my goal in life, is to make enough to not worry about how much I'm making.
Exactly. Yeah.
And to buy a boat.
I'd be happy. Dude, for real?
No, I don't know.
Oh, because that's my dream,
Boats
man. I want a boat.
Man, they're responsible.
See, I don't want anything big. I don't want like a yacht. I want a fucking motorboat. You know what I mean? I want a nice little motorboat.
Take them out in the water, get them a little drunk,
A couple cars in the driveway.
Can't say
house
no.
and a boat. That's all I want.
Because of the application.
Yeah. I just like boating. It's fun.
Boats are fun, but they're expensive. There's docking fees, and you have to like clean them and make sure they run, because they're constantly in water, so like erosion happens and shit like that. You have to be careful.
So that's what we think about God.
It's great fun.
Buy a boat.
Religiously, where do you guys stand? Are you an atheist, Mike? Agnostic atheist? That's what.
Yeah,
I think I
might technically be like a pantheist or something, but that doesn't mean it. Like, that's basically meaning. It's essentially meaningless, but.
I think atheist is what belief in there is no afterlife, or
it's just an absence of belief in.
So it's not necessarily saying there is no
conventionally
heaven. It's saying we don't know.
Well, then,
no.
That's why I say agnostic atheist, which means like you're an atheist, but you're open to the possibility of like.
Yeah, I don't like that word, because I feel like atheist is so like, it's just, no, we don't believe in nothing. You die, you're in the dirt. There's no consciousness after death. To me, I want to believe that there's a kind of a spirit, and the only reason I say that is because my research in like psychedelic drugs like DMT, dreaming is another one, astral projection. I don't know if you guys ever did research into that.
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Out of body experiences, near death experiences. I think that there, quite possibly could be something beyond this realm, and I think in order to find that out is to study those subjects right there.
No, it is fascinating.
Consciousness.
Like, whenever I look into stuff like astral projection, like there's part of me that wants to believe like there's an astral plane, and it's you could traverse it, and out of body. But there's also part of me that's like, well, how do you know it's just not your brain? But I guess that's the argument. Or like when people say they see a light when they die, like how do you know it's just not your brain tripping on DMT?
Yeah, some say it's a form of tunnel vision when you die. But dimental tryptamine, like I think we were talking about it last time, I don't know if we were or not, but it's basically releases at heavy REM sleep in high doses, and it's released at birth and at death. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
and briefly when you orgasm.
Briefly.
Very almost imperceptibly. I'm just making sure.
Yeah, you gotta look into that. We're gonna have to get into that next time. Or I'm gonna have you guys research it. Dimethyl tryptamine. Have you watched some videos and shit?
I watched enough Joe Rogan videos about it.
Yeah. It's
open
crazy,
your third eye, man.
It's crazy.
I think, did I tell you? I used to work with a guy at Subway, and he had a buddy. He was telling me he had a buddy that was like a chemistry major. Because you can like buy the stuff on Amazon to like synthesize it yourself. Yeah. It's kind of sketchy.
It's extremely illegal drug for some reason. It's like more illegal than heroin and crack and meth. It's why?
Because the government doesn't want you opening your third eye.
Doesn't it have to be injected though?
Injecting it is, in clinical studies, it's the best way. Straight to the bloodstream. Yeah, you're gonna want to inject.
Or just shove it.
So everybody get your syringes ready. Next week we're doing DMT.
You just shove it. We're gonna do the podcast on DMT.
No, but injecting is. But we'll definitely have to discuss that next time for sure. I definitely want to get into it.
Michael from Vsauce did like DMT. Isn't there a video where he did some kind of like psychedelic? I could be wrong.
I don't know. I know. I like
Vsauce. Michael here, reporting from the fifth dimension.
It's no joke, bro.
But what is a dimension?
Yeah, it's beyond. I think everyone's to discover the answers of the universe. I think everyone's trying to look outward. And I think that's the wrong answer. I think in order to discover the real ways of the universe, one must look inward.
That's so deep.
I really think that's true, though. I'm not saying that in like a metaphorical sense, in some kind of spiritual sense. I'm saying that literally. When you look at our mind, when you look at consciousness, experience, how our brain works, I think that's really the way of how we're going to figure out what the universe is.
Maybe we are a hive
and not
mind.
what it's described as.
We're a hive mind, and we're all just agreeing on this is what existence looks like, and this is how we all agree to perceive it.
I think that's what the mathematics is and quantum mechanics is. It's basically saying, yeah, that's what it is, but it doesn't really explain why it is, or you know what I mean? Kind of like what you said, what's real. Yeah, we might be able to say this phone is a phone, but looking inwards, is it a phone?
Yes.
You know what I mean? I don't think mathematics describes it all. It just describes, you know what I'm saying, right? Come on, finish my sentence for me.
You're saying that as far as we can reach, there's going to be stuff that just can't be touched because from a lot of it's going to have to be left to theoretical thinking.
Yeah.
Or metaphysical thinking.
What do you mean as opposed to just empirical observation?
Yeah, well, there's plenty of what is it we discovered not so long ago that we were we're going to have to relook at how we look at not Newtonian physics, that stuff's pretty set in stone, but when we look at just actual physics in general, it's some stuff it has to get changed a lot because we find
more and more.
We were talking about the whole double slit experiment, the fact that the way we change makes you reconsider how the universe works now.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's fucked up. And when you observe it, it decides which slot wants to go through.
Fuck you, tiny
It's
brain.
oh yeah, you're not gonna find me out, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Just the act of observing. It's
Maybe
crazy.
God doesn't want to be looked at.
Right. I like to take that quantum mechanics sense and neuroscience and all that and kind of make it into a spiritual type, view. That's kind of my religion, is taking that and turning it into a spiritual view.
What's the point of that?
It's just for me, you know what I mean? Obviously, there's got to be some kind of deeper meaning behind it all,
Well, let's say you're searching for the truth, presumably, right? Looking for the truth. Would you ever approach it that way with a mathematical equation? Would you say, well, I know vaguely something about this equation, I'm just going to spiritualize it just for me kind of thing? Or...
Well, I think...
Don't you think that, what I'm really saying is, don't you think that if you're looking for truth that you have to be mechanical and rigorous? If that's... And I mean that to be opposing to spirituality or anything.
Well, what I'm saying about not spirituality, what I'm saying is basically proving that there is something that we would describe as spiritual using these sciences.
So what's the role of logic in your spirituality, for instance?
What's the role of logic?
Does it have to be logical?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in what sense is it spiritual then?
See, I think spiritual for me, it's more of the mystery. That's to me that I'm saying in a literal sense. For me, it feels spiritual, the mystery of the universe. Searching for it, using these sciences and using these logical, reasonings.
I feel like you're kind of playing into faith a little bit. That's the whole premise of faith is I don't know, but I'm gonna take a chance and say that
there's obviously more than what we see, and we're not at the top of the chain. Obviously, look at how much we've changed and how much we've discovered these past thousands of years. And to me, I think there is something more to this life. I think there is something beyond.
There's gotta be more to life than this. There's gotta be more than everything I thought existed.
I think maybe that's just the human in me. Do you think that's every human, that we all secretly wish to exist beyond our humanly selves?
To not exist is a scary thing because it's I like the taste of pizza. I don't want to not be a time that I can't eat pizza. It's a stupid example. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Life's enjoyable. Why wouldn't I want it to end? There's so much that I want to do.
I don't think it's necessarily about the enjoyment. I think for me, it's more about the people. You know what I mean? Your loved ones and stuff. I don't think there's anyone in the world. I want to keep living so I can keep fucking eating pizza and playing video games.
Well, it's me.
But no, you know what I'm saying though. I'm sure that's a part of it. Trust me, for me too. Pleasure.
There's one way. There's one interesting way you could look at it. You could say that when you die, other people living on is no different than you living on. It's still some person continuing on existence. Right. And there's no, it's hard for us to break that way of thinking, but there's nothing special about your existence. You know what I mean?
I think
anybody who exists is as good as you existing.
Yeah, but I think it's more of a narcissistic thing for us to be
my
existence is more valuable than their
basically
existence.
What I'm saying is that you gotta it's hard to shed that way.
Because most people don't look at a person eating pizza and go I'm happy.
As long as somebody gets to continue on eating pizza, then it's going to be true that there are people in existence experiencing the joy of eating pizza. That's fine.
I'll murder every person eating pizza so I can enjoy it.
Hour and 9 minutes. You guys ready to call it?
You can wrap it up.
I think we left it off on a pretty good note. All right. So, yeah, this is, the Bunker Boys.
Smash that like and subscribe button. Hit the notification bell.
And remember, Applebee's. Waiting for the sponsorship.
Possibly delicious.
And
perhaps.
if you hear that hidden background track, let us know.
Yeah.
Bunkerboys.net or go to Big Booty Hose at bunkerboys.org.
.org.gov.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.